Welcome to the preview for the survival MMO Dune Awakening. Today we take a look at Funcom's next big thing, Dune Awakening. This open-world survival MMO promises to deliver a unique and ambitious gameplay experience where you must survive on the most dangerous planet in the universe, build shelters against dangerous sandstorms, maintain your stealth suit and master the ancient ways to traverse even the deepest deserts. But be careful, avoid being devoured by the giant sandworms that lurk beneath the sand. But before we plunge into the world of Dune Awakening, the question is, what is Dune Awakening anyway and who is responsible for it? Dune Awakening is an open-world survival MMO from Funcom, the traditional Norwegian team behind titles like Conan Exiles. Development on Dune Awakening began back in 2019 and the game is set to release on all major platforms including the PS5. Funcom is of course no stranger in the MMO world, with titles such as Anarchy Online, Age of Conan and The Secret World in their portfolio. Funcom can also look back on many years of experience in this area. But Funcom is also very successful in other genres, with titles like the new and very successful Metal Hellslinger, the strategy surprise Dune Spice Wars or Mutant Year Zero. So we're not talking about an indie developer, but a big player in the industry who can definitely realize such a project. However, Dune Awakening is Funcom's first survival MMO and it promises to be a significantly upgraded and expanded version of Conan Exiles, which is anything but negative. With almost 60,000 mostly positive reviews on Steam and a Metacritic of almost 70, Conan Exiles offers a strong foundation for a survival MMO in the Dune universe. The world of Dune Awakening takes place in Frank Herbert's Dune universe, one of the best-selling sci-fi novels of all time, on the planet Arrakis, better known as Dune. And Dune is synonymous with its dangerous sandstorms, the gigantic sandworms that lurk beneath the surface, and of course the all-defining Spice Melange. In this world, up to 1,000 players will be able to interact by joining factions, working with or against each other, surviving and fighting each other. During the game, you will do a lot of building, crafting and scavenging to increase your chances of survival. But beware, Dune's massive sandstorms can change everything and uncover new things that no one has discovered yet. So, Dune Awakening promises nothing less than an immersive combination of survival elements and multiplayer interactivity in a vast, persistent and seamless world in the massive Dune universe shared by thousands of players. So we can't wait to delve deeper into the world of Dune Awakening and find out what gameplay mechanics this game has to offer, which we will now go into. So what gameplay mechanics and content awaits us in the world of Dune Awakening on Arrakis? First of all, Dune Awakening is designed as a survival game, which means that we have to take care of basic needs like water and food in order to survive in the unforgiving world of Arrakis. Here, of course, on a desert planet, water supply and protection from the relentless sun is a strong factor. But Dune Awakening is also an MMO, which means we're not stuck in the desert alone. In fact, up to 1,000 players are said to be able to interact and collaborate or fight each other in the same world. One of the interesting gameplay mechanics, however, are the epic sandstorms that not only pose a huge threat, but also permanently shape and change the world of Arrakis. This means that we have to constantly adapt our self-constructed shelters, bases and structures to withstand the raging storms. We also need to keep resource management in mind by collecting water and maintaining our special distillation suit, so the still suit, to protect us from dehydration. In addition, there is also the possibility that the gigantic sandworms can suddenly appear and destroy everything we have built, giving a sense of nothing is forever. But besides surviving in the desert, the survival aspect, there are also a variety of other activities and mechanics that we can experience in Dune Awakening. We can join different factions, we'll be able to meet other players in the wilderness and explore dungeons together. but also the element of collecting and producing resources, as well as processing these resourcing, so crafting, is a core aspect whereby we can constantly improve our equipment and weapons and thus survive and work more effectively. But also crashed ships and other special places, which we as players can search and loot, make the explorer's heart beat faster. Also the possibility to take control of certain areas, buildings or spice harvesting vehicles, and use them for one's own advantage promises a deeper tactical aspect. It will also be possible to build and use vehicles such as ornithopters or sandcrawlers to fight or exploit the game world, which will be populated by NPC characters as well as boss enemies. Another important aspect of Dune Awakening is of course the epic story and the world of the Dune universe by Frank Herbert, whereby the Dune series, as one of the best-selling science fiction novels of all time, is also currently experiencing enormous popularity with new film adaptations. For in the universe of Dune, there are many political intrigues, power struggles and many groups and factions that we as players will experience and get to know on our journey through the desert. The driving force of all these factions is of course the melange, which is generally referred to simply as the spice, a core element of Dune. This spice is produced by the giant sandworms and is considered on Arrakis to be naturally produced, an aesthetic which can significantly expand the spectrum of consciousness and has been of crucial importance to space travel for thousands of years. It enables navigators to steer spaceships safely. So all in all, Dune Awakening offers a thoroughly unique and ambitious gameplay experience for a survival MMO. But what distinguishes it from other genre representatives? Dune Awakening is more than just another MMO or survival game. It combines both areas and offers a new gaming experience. But what exactly makes Dune Awakening special and how does it differ from other MMOs and survival games on the market? Many survival games are about fighting the elements and the environment to survive. Dune Awakening takes this concept to a whole new and bigger level by sending players into a huge persistent world in the Dune universe where they have to fight and hold their own not only against nature and its creatures, but also against other players. But Dune Awakening is more than just a survival game, it is also a true MMO, which means that thousands of players can play in the same world and interact with each other, as allies or enemies. This adds a lot more depth and excitement to the survival aspect, as you can never be sure who you will meet in the next moment, a friend or an enemy. And compared to other survival titles, survival plays an even more prominent role in Dune Awakening. And besides this survival aspect, players will also spend a lot of time shaping and forming the world of Arrakis. By exploring dungeons and scavenging wrecks, players can find new resources, which they then use to further build their bases and equipment. For another important feature of Dune Awakening here is the ability to join factions and team up with other players to survive and prosper together. This adds even more tactical depth to the game and offers players the opportunity to develop their own strategy and playstyle. This is because by exploring the open world and finding hidden treasures, players can further develop their faction and better defend themselves against attacks and forces of nature. The developers at Funcom, who already have a lot of experience in the development of MMOs such as Anarchy Online and Age of Conan, want to set new standards with Dune Awakening, whereby the Dune universe naturally offers all possibilities for this. For one of the most striking features of Dune Awakening is without a doubt the desert environment in which the game is set. The fictional world of Arrakis, as known as Dune, is beset by constant sandstorms that make life difficult for the players and at the same time constantly change the landscape. But these sandstorms are not only a visual highlight, they also play an important role in the gameplay. Players must build shelters to protect themselves from these sandstorms, and as they travel through the desert, they must also take care of their water supply and make sure that their distillation suit or still suit remains intact to protect them from dehydration. But the sandstorms are not the only danger players face in Dune Awakening. Hidden in the deep deserts also lurk the massive sandworms that can devour any living thing that's get in their way and pose an ultimate danger, or perhaps an ultimate ally. In the Dune universe, there are also numerous factions and characters that can be integrated into the game, including the famous and noble Atreides, the malevolent Harkonnen, but also lesser-known groups such as the Bene Gesserit, Tleilaxu and very many more. Each of these factions has its own goals and motivations, and players can join them or oppose them. They can also create their own faction and try to rise to power by fighting or allying with other factions. The fascinating, complex characters and political intrigue from the Dune universe can also play an important role, including, of course, Paul Atreides, who in the novel becomes Muad'Dib, a kind of messiah and the most powerful person in the universe, but also his nemesis, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen and others. But when we can dive into the world of Dune Awakening? When will Dune Awakening be released and on which platforms can you play it? Unfortunately, there is no exact official indication from Funcom here yet. However, development of Dune Awakening has already begun in 2019 and the game will be released off all major platforms, PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. However, the year 2023 has been named as the timeframe for the first playable test versions, which means we can expect further information and first game scenes quite soon. In any case, we will keep you up to date and provide you with all the information on Dune Awakening. And by the way, you can already register for a beta access on the official website, which we have of course linked to you. See you on Arrakis!